Hello, world, humanity, people. So, we're gonna be looking at today an example of human survival and victory, and the strongest survives. So, United States is a country, and over the years, through its military power, has acquired land. And if you look back, the history started in the beginning when the first people were here, the European settlers. They settled the East Coast, and that grew further inland. They went further inland, and they eventually went to the West Coast, and to the south, and to the north. And then after that, they went further south and further west into the Pacific Islands, into the Caribbean, South America, and of course the East, and basically the whole world now. So one of their territories is off the coast of Florida in the Caribbean. Its name is Puerto Rico. And like the word territory suggests, it is yours. Territory belongs to you. So even though there may be other people living there, the land is yours. It's not theirs. And so, through military conquest, the United States has a lot of territory. And in this land that we call the land of the free and the brave, they have made a lot of money. They are the victors, they are the winners of this competition, of this war games. And the losers, they treat them like losers, like shit, like garbage. And that is how the United States is so successful. And that's what happens when you win a game. To the spoil goes the victor, right? Or no, to the victor goes the spoils, unless you consider victors as spoiled brats. Then yes, they are spoiled. So here's an example of, just one example, of many examples in the world, of when you have a people who grew up in this mentality that they are less, that they owe their conquerors much for their help and wealth. And now, I should go into the absolute detail now. Puerto Rico is basically the vacation destination for Americans, same as all the other vacation destinations. They build large hotels, large casinos, lots of tourism, and of course they own all the wealth. They own all the land. And you can bet your ass that they got it at a very good deal. Very, very cheap. And once you own the land, you own it. Right? And so, money from all the money goes back to the United States because they own the land. They own all the business. And specifically, Puerto Rico, trying to see how I can say this without using an offensive word here. Basically, they owned the people. If you think of an offensive word that means owning, that's what I was thinking about. The Puerto Ricans aren't allowed to trade with other countries without the United States permission. And of course, any trade deal that would, help Puerto Rico make a better deal, they would forbid it. Because the United States owns Puerto Rico. And really, the United States has Puerto Rico's best interests? No. Otherwise, it would have forgiven the debt long ago. A debt for what? I don't know. That really isn't real. Especially when you have a fictitious idea of interest. Interest really is what it is. Someone's interest involving making money off of belief. Belief that is agreed upon. But is it real? No, the land is real. Perhaps your money is more real than that. The stuff that matters, like lands, that's where the wealth is. And so, because the United States owns the lands, Puerto Rico will never be able to make enough money to pay back the debt. And what happens in these recessions is people start leaving the islands, people start selling their houses, they start foregoing mortgages at a very cheap rate. The land is sold. Why? I don't know. It's land, isn't it? It's invaluable. And then, of course, the United States buys more land. By United States, I mean, it's not really United States. It's individuals who have a lot of wealth, who know how to play the game, who know where to invest, who know where to buy, who know where to take advantage. Because it's really never been United States, has it? There's always been people who have profited from these ventures down south to South America, to the west, to the east, to the north. There's always been someone who owns the lands, who owns the businesses, who owns the structures. And so, in a case where it seems quite ridiculous, the ridiculous is happening. I mean, there's the fear that if Puerto Ricans say, no more, we break off our relations, the fear here is the fear of being independent. Just like a teenager out in the world for the first time, learning what it means to be an adult and independent. Of course, then there's the fear of war, of the United States using their military to take back their territory from the rebels who dare to rebel against the owners. So, what's it going to be? I mean, I don't know the end of this story. What can Puerto Ricans do practically? What can American citizens do practically? What can be done about how the money system works? The money system that allows for this kind of abuse. I mean, really. Yes, a lot of Americans are profiting from this, but the majority of them are quite stressed. They're quite in financial stress. They're not financially free, even though there's so much wealth coming from all across the world into the United States. This wealth, as you can imagine, is quite large. Is it possible for all men to live in a way that is dignified, that is financially free of stress, that is actually equal in the integrity of life, in the pride of life, where all men can live well together, sharing what is here. Is that possible? That's a question. Question that has an answer for those who dare to ask. Ask and you will receive, they say. So, what questions have you been asking?